Welcome back then, guys. Just going to continue with my little test and demo with a little Iwata LPH 300. As I say, a MIDI gun, not mini, MIDI gun. 1.2mm setup. It's, puts on the right amount of paint for the smaller jobs. Puts a big gun finish on it. Spraying at about 1.5, 1.6 bars now. I've dropped the pressure to what I normally use. I have a big thing with pressures. Change the pressure to what you're actually wanting out of your paint. If you want a thicker, more orange peely paint, put your pressure up. Put your pressure down. If you want a nice fine coat of paint, Japanese type finish, put your pressure up slightly. There's no one particular spray gun pressure setting to stick to. If you change your lacquer, if you change your mixing ratio, anything like that can affect the way the gun paints. So try and do a paint sample. I normally have some masking paper on the door here. Get it to what you want by adjusting your pressures, by adjusting how much paint's coming through the gun. Quite impressed with that little gun. It sprayed rather nice on these today. You can see these now, that they're pretty much dry now. No bits, no dust. All turned out rather nice. I'll show you a little bit of my setup here in the shed, and it's nothing more than a shed, to be honest. If you have a look around, we've got the big HVLP airline 10mm bore. I've got a big 16 CFM compressor outside in another shed. It's all plumbed through. We do use some decent filtration, twin filters. One normally collects the water, extra fine filter in the second one, which normally doesn't get anything in. This Norgren filter here at the beginning sort of filters out everything. And here is just like I've made a homemade dryer. This is an X unit out of an air conditioning machine, and it's got the delicatessen beads inside. So we try and filter what we can, water here. Oils are also separated if need be. Then it goes up into this and it dries it out, and I get astounding good results. I've worked with 10-20,000 pound screw compressors with dryers, preheated airs, all sorts of things, and it's just uncanny that I just get the same sort of results out of my setup here in the shed as I can do out of the more expensive setups. That's about it really. As I say, small fan, corner of the workshop, this side of the workshop, got some holes cut in the side. This is sort of my spraying area where air will come through, pre-filters, go on my small parts, and I only paint small parts in here. Nothing, I wouldn't paint a bumper or a car door or anything like that in here, just the small parts, wheel arches, maybe small splitters, spoilers, as today, our door mirrors, covers, things like this. This is all I paint here at the weekend. Anything bigger than that has to be done properly in a booth. From an environmental point of view, everything I use here at home, because this is a domestic sort of house, everything is water based. All my base coats are Chromax water based. I always use VOC lacquers. I always use the small spray gun. And the other side, my fan is a trunking, and all the solids get caught from my filter down into the floor into a tank, and that gets taken away to my local refuse where they sort it out. But that only collects enough to change sort of once a year or so. I try and monitor temperatures here as much as I can. Tack rags, spirit white, things I just keep in this little box up here just for a little denibbing. Got a nice little handheld temperature gauge and relative humidity. It's cold out there at the moment. I think I've actually got it to about 20 degrees in here actually, with the actually in the workshop it's colder inside the box. And today we're running at about 60% relative humidity. So I do keep an eye on temperatures. There's no point fooling yourself to think because you've got a nice paint job and it's dried okay and you have no issues today. If you've painted it in a damp condition, if you've fooled yourself in thinking, yeah, today is the right day to paint, you'll find that very shortly you'll have some paint peeling, adhesion issues. It won't work basically. Stick to the rules and you won't go wrong. If I turn around this way a little bit, as you can see in the other part of my shed, I've got no light on in at the moment. It's all crammed in here a little bit. I'm waiting to get another workshop, and most of this equipment will move to the new workshop. Proper spray gun cleaning facilities, that's a must. Never been one for swishing your gun round in a little tub of thinners and think it's clean. Needs flushing. You need a dirty solvent, you need a clean solvent. Your guns come up like new. I could use a gun for 6 months and you wouldn't be able to tell whether it's a new gun or not. And if you're going to be spending, as you've probably seen in my first video that I've done, if you're going to spend £3,000, £4,000 on a selection of guns, you need to look after them. You can't buy those every 6 months, it's too expensive. I turn off for a little bit, I go into my other shed and show you a little bit what's going on in the other shed.